And now we're gonna watch this strange orange man justify ethnic cleansing.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, Philip DeFranco. See, I don't watch a lot of news, but Daddy Phil keeps me filled in. Okay.
Over and
Some people
Mm-hmm.
call bro. It's been so weird how many American politicians or like fucking Mel Gibson has called Trump Daddy. Like
Really?
just on live news, they'll just call this guy Daddy. Like what the
With their whole chest too. That's great.
with their whole chest, like Daddy Trump. Like, oh my goodness, y'all into some kinky shit for trying to ban porn. Like what? Like what?
own Gaza, Musk and Trump are now pulling almost all USAID workers off the job in what could be a devastating and deadly move for millions. And a lobbying group representing Meta is suing to fight a law meant to protect kids online, despite Meta saying they wouldn't. We're talking about all that and even more on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news, how it's being covered, and how people are reacting to it. So buckle up, hit that like button if you like these big daily. Trip was to clean out the whole thing. Read a direct quote and a proposal that was widely condemned by the international community as illegal and criticized by many as a call for
Oh wait,
ethnic cleansing. And now
my OBS is blocking me. Give me 1 second. I gotta restart OBS. Hello, Jerome. Good to see you, my friend. Da 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 da. I think we're good now.
while the
Da da da.
details are few, he is fully leaning into the idea. Right, last night we saw him welcoming Israeli PM Bibi Netanyahu to Washington and reaffirming his stance that Palestinians should leave Gaza so it can be rebuilt. But then he went even further, stating much less ambiguously that he sees this as a long-term, if not permanent, exit for the Gazan people. Right, with him also suggesting there that one, it would be the U.S. to take
'Cause,
ownership
yeah,
over the territory, and
that
that
would
two,
totally
he
work.
would not
Right.
rule out the deployment of American troops. And with all that, it's interesting to see how all of this unfolded. Right, it started with Trump's comments during an Oval Office meeting with Netanyahu when a reporter asked if Palestinians would have the right to return
Man,
to Gaza under
I
his
had somebody on my friends list today who serves in the military just say how like we don't understand how like other people want to enslave and kill us, and then this is being said, and it's like I wonder why. Like,
Yeah.
did we not enslave tons of people and kill tons of people? Like, because
Mhm.
doing more of that is gonna fix it, right?
Right.
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 plan, and he
Yeah.
said this.
I'm so much safer after this. I feel so much safer. He said, with such a heavy amount of sarcasm, some people with 2 brain cells can't detect it. What does the fuck?
Mhm.
The fuck, bro? What the fuck? I don't feel safe. I'm not safe here.
Something really nice,
I'm not safe here.
really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they?
We don't even have an Iron Dome, bro. This smug motherfucker on the left has a fucking Iron Dome. We don't have one
Mhm.
here, bro. He's
want to
fucking playing
return?
us.
The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest places on earth. And
Look at his fucking shit-eating grin when they say, like, this is their homeland. Why would they leave? Look at his shit-eating grin. That smug motherfucker. What is the fuck?
right now, it's. I've seen every picture from every angle, better than if I were there. And nobody can live there. You can't live there.
And then with that, Trump suggested they would build
I
new,
wonder why you
beautiful,
can't live
peaceful
there.
places for Palestinians to live in Jordan,
I wonder what
Egypt,
happened
or
to it.
elsewhere. He also claimed that these places would be
Not
His,
like we have
massive
years of
amounts
evidence
money
of
supplied
what
by
happened
other
to it.
people,
Sorry.
including very rich nations, and claiming they're willing to
What were you
supply
saying?
it. And then
Oh no, I was just gonna say that Benjamin, not Benjamin Netanyahu, but the current president of Israel, his grandpappy,
Isn't that him?
uh,
He's
Benjamin
been, I think,
Netanyahu.
yeah, I think he's been prime minister for several years.
Yeah, he's the prime minister. He's not the president. The president's
They also have
grandpappy was the he was first in like Ireland, I think, and he was a priest there that was spreading Zionism. And then eventually his son, I think, ran for president, and then he became president, and then yeah, his kid also became president. So there's like a lineage that's going on there. All the
Yeah.
Herzogs, you know what I mean?
And that's interesting. And like Bibi Netanyahu, like his brother was killed by a terrorist. So it's like clear, like there's like this whole vengeance saga that's happening.
Yeah.
That seems to be like going against like a lot of like global like agreements we've made, you know? That it just vengeance and taking territory is more important.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Like,
And
hey,
just, yeah,
it's
like Trump making excuses like, oh, it's reduced to rubble. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Of course, you just bombed the shit out of it for a year, like over a year, almost 2. And then before that, it wasn't in good condition either. Like, what?
Also, the fact that they fucking stripped water from the people of Palestine and forced them to collect rainwater on top of their houses in these little teeny tiny fucking tanks that they would come fill, but then eventually completely stopped when the war in Gaza happened. So they just left people without water. And then, what, didn't they get like polio during the war as well?
I think I heard that, yeah. Trump's like,
They
drain
just
the swamp and fucking send it to Israel. Like, what? Like,
drain the swamp and then make people pay $4 for a bottle of water.
Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, the fuck? Oh my goodness. Oh, and here's the president of Israel with Biden. They're good buddies. Good buddies.
Just hanging out.
Just palling around.
Notably, when asked what would happen if Egypt and Jordan said no to him, Trump responded,
Well, I don't think they're going to tell me no.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to tell I think they're going to tell Biden no, and I think they're going to tell
Who's gonna tell him no? What?
other people no.
So you think it will happen at the end?
I think there's a good chance. Yeah,
How
I'd like
many
to see it
people are you thinking about?
All of them. I mean, we're talking
All of
about
the
probably 1 million
He wants all of the Palestinians out of Gaza.
people, 1.7
Right.
million, maybe 1.8 million. But I think all of them. I think they'll be resettled in areas where they can live a beautiful life and not be worried about dying every day.
but then with all
And then be extremely radicalized from having their like entire family blown up in front of them. Because
how about
bro,
instead of worrying about their safety, you just stop fucking bombing them? What? Like,
yeah, because he's so worried, so concerned.
that, I do want to note that Egypt and Jordan have actually very firmly stated that they're not interested in taking in hundreds of thousands of people from Gaza. And this, of course, as I mentioned, while the idea has also been widely criticized by all but the most right-wing elements of the Israeli government and some international supporters. With a big key point now being, you know, the Palestinians, by and large, they do not want to leave. With us seeing, for example, one Palestinian professor who's been displaced from his home in Gaza describing Trump's claim as outrageous and adding, Palestinians would rather live in tents next to their destroyed homes rather than relocate to another place, which was also something seemingly backed up by one 29-year-old Gazan speaking to NPR who said, even if there was a place that was 1,000,000 times better than Gaza, and even if I could be sure that life there would be luxurious, I would still be ready to live among the rubble and in tents here. And adding, if they come with the army, with the military force, I will still never leave. And so, you know, with that, it appears that's why you have outlets like the New York Times explaining that to Palestinians, Trump's proposal would constitute ethnic cleansing on a more terrifying scale than any displacement they have experienced since 1948, which is a big statement. I mean, that is when roughly 800,000 Arabs were expelled or forced to flee during the war surrounding the creation of Israel. With us also seeing here
fucking reverse it. Like, they're like claiming victim in so many fucking circumstances. Imagine Saudi Arabia just comes out, buys Israel, and is like, nope, every fucking native Israeli Jewish person, nope, you don't belong here, you can't live here, go live somewhere else. Go to fucking Poland. Like, that's the Holocaust. You are doing a fucking Holocaust. What are you fucking talking about? What the fuck?
Head of Amnesty International USA claiming that by removing all Palestinians from Gaza, that would be tantamount to destroying them as a people. With them then going on to say, Gaza is their home. Gaza's death and destruction is a result of the government of Israel killing civilians by the thousands, often with U.S. bombs. Right, but that is not where this
Trump
ended.
really doesn't like all the immigrants, so he should just leave.
Donald took things to a whole
right, like, you don't like the immigrants? Maybe
just relocate.
You're in a country full of immigrants. You are an immigrant.
And be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of
level Gaza, like they've been saying since before October 7th. They have literally been saying level Gaza for fucking years, bro.
Level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way.
He's talking about the Israeli people.
I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the
Fucking Oompa Loompa.
bloodshed
Yeah,
and killing
fuck.
once and for all.
And from there, Trump went on to answer questions and say he sees a long-term ownership position
I
for
don't
the
like
U.S.
to make fun of people for their appearance, but the Oompa Loompaness is a fucking choice, man. He made a
Yeah.
choice to look that stupid.
and claiming it would be great
He made a
stability
choice
to
to be
that
that
part of the
shitty of a
Middle East
person.
and
What the
maybe
fuck?
the entire Middle
Mm.
East, and then adding,
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a nice guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be
What does
so
he mean, the Riviera of the Middle East? What is the Riviera? That's like a hotel, right? Like, or like a
No
like a
idea.
fancy area, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like, let's see. This looks like it.
I can't fucking believe that he
Riviera in Uruguay?
Uruguay.
I know. Uruguay. Yeah, I'd have to look into the history of that, but
Yeah, I don't.
because I think he's intentionally
That's
making
not.
that comparison. Seems like something the U.S. might have had impact in.
Honestly, I have no fucking idea. Like, where is that?
It's
I'm like looking
by
at my map.
Brazil.
It's
It's
not
on the
near.
border of Brazil and Uruguay.
Yeah, that's why. What the fuck does that have to do with something?
I don't know, but Brazil has been having a lot of like protests against the government. I do know that. Yeah, I'm not sure what reference that
magnificent. But more importantly than
means
that
for
is the
him.
people that have been absolutely destroyed that live there now can live in peace in a much better situation because they're living in hell. And those people will now be able to
I wonder
live
who
in
created
peace.
that
Whose fault is that?
Who created the hell?
Stop real quick.
Sorry.
Stop real quick. Pause. The guy who made their lives hell is literally standing right fucking next to you.
Yeah.
He's right
And
there.
he's got a shit-eating grin pretty much the whole time. He's psychopathic as fuck, bro. He does not give a fuck who he hurt. Oh my god.
There's gonna be a special place in hell for him.
Yeah. Added a like, but I'm exhausted. Long day. I'll be around. No worries, certified. Thank you for the like. I appreciate you hanging out for a minute. Lots of shit going on in the world today. We're talking cool stuff, but like like world building, like cooler shit, right? Like, you know, when it all inevitably comes burning down, you know, there's got to be people to rebuild, right? So it's good to keep eyes towards that, but also just like I did not watch the news much yesterday, so I didn't see this stuff happening live. So I'm kind of recapping with you guys now. And what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the shit kind of fucking psychopathic fucking bullshit level Gaza? Who the fuck elected this guy, bro? I get our options were bad, but like, okay, impeachment. Let's go. What are we doing? What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyways, he's also
Palestinians, most
alleged titty diddler. Fucking what the fuck, bro? What are we
with
doing?
that, when asked who he thinks would live in Gaza, you had him saying that he envisions the world's people living there.
I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place.
So all the profit from those fucking tourist attractions you're wanting to build should go directly to the families you fucked up, right? Right?
Yeah, it would be great if you made that place unbelievably cool and then let the people who actually stop and live there.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
so
okay,
cool.
we built you a new fucking apartment complex. Sorry, here's like 2 lifetimes worth of reparations. Like, you know, instead you're like
I wonder
trying
if
to
he's
push them
gonna
into
like.
countries where they're not wanted. What the fuck?
I wonder if he's gonna squeeze them into Guantanamo Bay with us.
Yikes, bro.
Yes,
Oh
that's.
my
I feel like that
God.
would be like. I know it's part of Guantanamo Bay, but like we built these really nice little houses on the side. It's like really not really a part of it, so it'll be fine.
Oh my God.
You know.
Why don't you
Just
put
come there, it's so
Mar-a-Lago
much
in
nicer.
Guantanamo Bay? Why don't you just like go hang out with everyone there if it's so quaint and nice and safe? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like just you move in. Do a little blog. Let us know how
the
to.
entire world,
General
representatives from all
population.
over the world will be there, and they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people will live there.
Finally, when asked about the possibility of sending U.S. troops, he simply said,
As far as Gaza is concerned, we'll do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that.
What the
We're
f is
going
necessary?
to
How
take
many
over
more
that
fucking
piece.
people died? How many more Palestinians died than Israeli citizens after October 7th? Like, probably an insane amount.
So we're going to develop it, create thousands and thousands of jobs, and it'll be
Fuck up.
something that
Every
the
time he
entire
says
Middle
that.
East can be very proud of.
So with all this, we saw
I-
immediate
Hold on, pause for a
reactions,
second.
people
Pause for a
chiming
second.
in. You had
I'm
people
sorry
like,
to interrupt again.
You're all good. No worries.
But do you remember that video I sent you where
Yeah.
the guy says in the video, anybody that tells you, yeah, it's going to affect things in little ways, but in the long term, we're going to create a lot of jobs. He said, put your hand on your wallet, because that guy's trying to fuck you over.
Yeah.
That's what he just said. He's like, we're going to create so many jobs. It's going to be so good. Fuck off. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Welcome.
I just don't.
Yeah, at least more than 45,000 Palestinians were killed since October 7th and 1,700 Israeli nationals.
What?
So it's more than 4 times the amount.
Where did they die?
It's like 4 times the amount. In Gaza.
That's a great question.
Well, like,
in Gaza.
okay, well, I don't know if this is including the attack. I think it's including the attack because I think since the initial attack, it's pretty much been a slaughter the other way around.
I've come across videos of people saying that they set booby traps and that the Israeli soldiers fell into booby traps.
Yeah.
There's like memes about that too, which is not great. But like, there's Israeli soldiers posing with like a lady's underwear.
Yeah, I saw that. And I even
Yeah.
I heard a fucking video of Destiny like minimizing that when he was in Israel, talking to people saying like, "Oh no, don't post that shit, guys. Don't post that shit." Like, no, please post that shit. Please post how much you're fucking being a piece of shit so people can see what's happening and that it's not you just fighting the bad guys. Like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Please post how much of a piece of shit you are,
Andrew
please.
Miller, for example, a
I
former
love to
Middle
know
East
that.
policy advisor under Obama and Biden, telling the New York
I
Times,
love finding out. No, I didn't love finding it out, but I am glad that I know now that what is her name? Vanessa? She died on a military base. Right? Like I'm glad I know that rather than I don't know that, because if I ever had like a second thought like, oh, I still might join the military someday, that took it out of my fucking mind. When I found out that likely a higher up raped her and then probably fucking killed her, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, fuck the U.S. military. I'm never signing up in my fucking life, no matter how much you guys offer me a fucking signing bonus. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck that. It's sad. It's sad because like supposedly like it's like people protecting us. That should not be a possibility if that's the case.
Yeah.
Incomprehensible policy proposal I have ever heard from an American president. With them also saying at the cost of Trump's plan, it would make the $40 billion foreign assistance budget that Trump and Elon Musk call a waste look like a rounding error. And this is you had Aaron David Miller, a former Middle East peace negotiator, noting that Trump's Gaza proposal goes against his avowed opposition to nation building and could undermine his efforts to get Saudi Arabia to establish diplomatic ties with Israel. And that's without mentioning him saying that this provides Russia and China a green light to take over territory as they see fit. But he then also went on to argue that all of the hoopla on the US taking over Gaza caused us to miss the real story from the meeting. Or with him there referring to the fact that there was relatively little discussion about the current ceasefire or negotiating the second phase. And notably, you had Democratic Senator Chris Murphy making a similar point on the US side, writing in a post on X, a US invasion of Gaza would lead to the slaughter of thousands of US troops and decades of war in the Middle East. It's like a bad, sick joke, but then adding
Did
in a
we
separate
not
post,
learn
I have
anything
news for
from
you.
fucking Iraq and Afghanistan? Like all of the wars in the Middle East that soldiers themselves have been like, this was a mistake. Like I have a lot of trauma, and this war did no good. In fact, I think it built more resentment for America.
Yeah.
Like, how many soldiers need to say that or light themselves on fire until we understand that this is a bad fucking idea? Like, so silly, bro.
Aren't taking over Gaza. But the media and the chattering class will focus on it for a few days, and Trump will have succeeded in distracting everyone from the real story. The billionaires seizing government to steal from regular people. But understandably, a lot of the conversation has been around this, including with Democratic lawmakers. Chris Van Hollen, for example, claiming Trump's proposal defies decades of bipartisan American support
that's
for a
what we're
two-state
reacting
solution
to
and
right
describing
now.
it
That's
as
exactly what
ethnic
we're
cleansing.
reacting
Chris
to.
Coons
I woke
saying
up to a
that's
little bit of that,
insane.
and I was
can't
like,
think
what
of a
the
place on
fuck?
earth
And
that
I
would
didn't look
welcome
into
American
it
troops less and where any
that
positive
deeply
outcome
until right
is
now.
less likely. And Rashida Tlaib, the only Palestinian member
But
of
it's not
Congress
like
writing on
a
X.
surprise,
Palestinians
unfortunately.
aren't going anywhere. This president can only spew this fanatical bullshit because of bipartisan support in Congress for funding genocide and ethnic cleansing. But they're saying it's time for my two-state solution colleagues to speak up. Though also, notably, John Fetterman, probably the staunchest supporter of Israel on the Democratic side, has signaled his openness to Trump's proposal. With that said, moving to the Republican side, we are definitely seeing a lot of confusion there on how to respond, right? Some seemingly trying to walk the fine line of voicing their skepticism without outright opposing Trump. With Lindsey Graham, for example, saying, I think most South Carolinians are probably not excited about sending Americans to take over Gaza. I think that might be problematic, but I'll keep an open mind. But also understand, yeah, there were some that were very gung-ho about this, with, for example, House Republicans like Nancy Mace and Richard Hudson. With Mace posting on X, let's turn Gaza into Mar-a-Lago. With that, then even kind of turning into a trend with Trump's former ambassador to Israel, for example, writing on X, Mar-a-Gaza or Gaza-Lago, and also saying Trump's proposed USA takeover of the Gaza Strip may sound out of the
with all
box,
this
but it
shit
is
happening,
brilliant
they're not
historically.
considering what the young generation is going to think to America for what's going on. They're not considering.
Sorry, you were a little bit muffled, love.
Oh, where's my mic? I said they're not considering what the younger generations, how this is going to affect the younger generations of Palestinians. Because what you're doing is you're creating a silent rebellion that's going to eventually come back and fuck you in the ass.
This is how ISIS was created. This is how the fucking Taliban was created. Like, what? How have we learned nothing? How are people this stupid or evil? Like, straight up, like, greedy, I guess. I guess greed makes people blind. This is a very greedy man. Crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy how, like, open Roger Stone was about how they're manipulating people to get him elected, and then how everyone was just so easily duped that he's like a man for the people and for like low cost of living and not the imperialistic bullshit. So crazy. What's up, Pinky? How you doing out there in Norway? How's Norway right now? I'm in America. I'm cooked. I'm the dunce tap of the world right now. I'm trying to get out. I'm so sick of this shit. I don't want my taxes going to this. So done. Like, I'm protesting. I'm protesting by leaving because fuck this. And like, honestly, it's not a bad idea if you can afford to do it. And I know a lot of people can't afford the money up front, but if you look at the cost of living in other places of the world, it's actually quite cheap compared to what a lot of people in America are. Yeah, and I feel like I'll have more money to spend on like nonprofits or actually doing good in the world if I'm not giving it all to Uncle Sam who wants to just imperialist all of the fucking world. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit, bro.
Right.
I'm upset. I'm upset spaghetti. Norway is okay, I guess.
Everybody should be upset.
States, at least. No, like everyone should be like, hey, knock it off, bitch. Like, you can't just fucking level a fucking city because you want to fucking put a resort there, you dumb bitch. Can I call the president a dumb bitch? Is that against the law?
Yes. No.
Shit, I mean, in
Is
Minecraft.
it?
He's a dumb bitch in Minecraft.
This is all just
they did in some universities after all those. I was talking to you about this earlier, Martlet. All those kids got arrested protesting because the money from the universities was going to fund this. They made it illegal at some of those campuses to criticize Israel. To say Israel was an apartheid. They made it like banned from campus to say those things. I'd have to look up what specific schools those were, but like I was just like, what the fuck?
That is free speech.
Like in your country, they're literally suing the country, saying, "Hey, you guys are, like doing apartheid. You can't fucking do that."
No. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my
God.
Nah, bro. This shit doesn't help anybody. That is why, like, people are like, "Oh, like the U.S. is unsafe. South Africa is unsafe." Maybe because we had years of segregation and fucking slavery and dehumanizing people. And we still have slavery. What the fuck, bro?
And the only idea I have heard in 50 years that has a chance of
Cassie,
bringing
my door is always open. Thank you, Pinky. I appreciate having friends all over the world. That's actually a really, really good feeling, knowing people all over the world. In case, like, stuff ever gets weird. Because I feel like there's a lot of, like, anti-globalist rhetoric, and everyone wants to, for some reason, be their own weird, creepy ethno-state. But I don't want to live my life like that. I like the cross-pollination of different cultures. Also, calling him a bitch is factually correct since we're all females according to the rating.
Yeah. We're all women at some point.
Security, peace, and prosperity
Spark, spark.
to this troubled region. Right? And that is also a stance that we've seen taken by far-right members of the Israeli government. With, a key thing there being that Netanyahu is under a lot of pressure from these far-right allies to abandon the ceasefire and resume fighting in Gaza to eliminate Hamas. And in fact, one of them already resigned from Netanyahu's government over the ceasefire and hostage deal. You've got another who had previously vowed to topple the government if the war isn't relaunched. But now, Trump's plan might seem to them like an acceptable or even better alternative. Or with one writing, with God's help, we will now act to finally...
I just had a disagreement with a longtime Facebook friend about that status I posted about mental health care facilities could be free. Ironically enough, they serve in the military, and they're like, well, who's going to pay for the free mental health care facility? Who's
Where's your taxes going?
Can I make a choice that I want my taxes to go to the free mental health care facilities and not the military? Like, this is a free country, right? I should be able to make a choice. Like I'll still pay taxes. Like, I'll even pay more, like, if it goes to the mental health care facility and not the fucking military. Just a thought.
If we could just decide where shit is directed, things would go a lot better.
Right. I feel like we'd have less animosity in general. Like, if people could just do, like I'm a pro-school person, so be down for the schools, and then all the pro-military people can put their dollars on that.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Can you imagine if funds were just redirected in the right places, how much better the world would be?
Like, we could actually decide by popular vote, like where we put our money. We would live in such a different world. We should honestly do a big poll of people doing that and do like a big generalized study and see where the world would really want their money going to. That'd be really interesting to see.
Probably make something on that website.
Yeah. Website for that. That'd be swag. We could do that.
Yeah.
We could totally do that.
People do like personality tests. We could just do that.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. What's up, Cass?
I'd love that.
My day is a bit chaotic, but it's been great. I've been talking to Martlet most of the day. I got some cleaning done, had some snacks. How's everyone's day? Freedom is an illusion in the USA. Yeah, it's freedom for the rich white men. What do you mean? There was a asterisk at the bottom. Land of the free, rich white people. You don't even gotta be born here. If you're born in South Africa, we'll just make you captain of Doge.
Yeah.
Richest man in the world? Yeah, come on in. Like,
Elon Musk is from South Africa, so he's going to the moon while we have electricity issues. You can't even have a full day of electricity. You gotta cut some of that shit out.
What's up, Kenneth? I forgot to read the fine print. Yeah, man. Probably you, like most of us in America, we did not choose this shit. I was actually just complaining. Why, Grandma? Why did you leave Denmark? What did you do that for? Grandma.
Grandma healthcare.
Grandma healthcare.
Grandma free education.
Mushrooms.
All the good shit.
Oh, man. We left it all behind for this.
Bury the dangerous idea of a Palestinian state, and the other calling on Netanyahu to announce the adoption of the plan as soon as possible and to begin immediate practical progress. And this is Netanyahu, for his part, seems open, saying Trump has a different idea and he thinks it's worth paying attention to this. So then also with everything
I am the
saying
rainbow
that
sheep
Trump's
of the
comment
family.
should not be taken literally.
I would say I think it's an idea of shit, and I don't think any Palestinians are going to willingly. Well, not maybe there are people who want to leave.
That's why I'm like, bro, kind of get me out of here, because like, how many military bases are around me? I'm like, I'm a target. Get me out.
Yeah.
Because like if I was another country, I would be very angry. I would also probably hate Americans. But I pray that my voice is heard to an extent, and other people in the U.S. who are willing to be like arrested for having empathy. Like I hope that our voices are heard and people have more grace than fucking Netanyahu does, and they don't indiscriminately fucking attack civilians because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I
No,
didn't realize
governments
how
are
big of
scary.
a threat BRICS was to the US until I actually saw that video and I was like, I get
I
it.
actually haven't heard of it. Maybe that's intentional. I've not heard of it over here.
Hmm.
I've only heard about the tariffs and people worrying about the aftermath, but I hadn't heard of BRICS. How do you spell it?
BRICS.
BRICS. Okay. Yeah, this is my first time hearing about it.
We haven't such a ridiculous and almost like a movie space movements.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, we don't like Russia. We don't like China. We do not like Iran.
We
It
don't
kind of
like
makes sense
anybody
that,
that doesn't want to be dominated by us.
right, yeah, bro, yeah, like the US, like how many times did I hear fucking, like, cause I made like a ironic comment when I was talking to Destiny that one time that like, I don't know, maybe Iran should mediate, not the US. He's like, how could you fucking say that? Iran wants to kill America, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, but like, what does America want to do? Like, so why would America be a good mediator in this conflict? But yeah, like, I don't know, man. It's just crazy how much people, like, governments fuck everything up for people. The group's dominated by China. Yeah, that video, I think it was the video you sent me. They were literally saying, like, we don't like China because China's doing to us what we did to Europe and
Yeah.
what we did to Africa and South America and, like, lots of other fucking
Lots of
places. Like,
places.
yeah.
Can't have that. You don't know that, no.
Karma? No, thank you. Maybe we
Sounds like
just
a lot
stop.
to deal with. Everyone's.
Maybe
Don't want to be doing
the
that.
tat for the tit is too big at some point, and maybe we should not hit the tat until oblivion. Maybe we should
Yes.
lower the tit tat.
Well, it only make up like 4.2% of the population. You gotta watch out.
Oh.
Like, I get it, right? But it's the same thing in South Africa. Whenever I see somebody being racist in South Africa, it's like, you're surrounded, buddy. On all sides. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're doing here.
It's like some weird fucking fear response because the white man got guns and then they're like fucking selling them to everyone else, like trying to fucking do some weird 5D chess bullshit, just fucking up the whole planet. Like, fuck off, man.
Just trying to have a good time with your listeners.
Right, bro. Like, you don't gotta be this extra. We don't need another resort. Maybe just let the Gazans build their own resort and then you go stay at it. See how you like it.
We should make it
Yeah,
illegal
arguing-
to become a millionaire.
Illegal to what?
To be a millionaire.
To be a millionaire?
So like
Billion,
nobody gets to be a millionaire.
I think
And
million is
money
okay.
gets directed.
Million is feasible, but billion is insane. I think if there were no
Like-
billionaires and that was like the cutoff point, we would be okay. Because like Elon's like into the trillions now, I'm pretty sure. Like with his all of his assets and investments. Because like I can't even conceptualize. I could maybe conceptualize a million, like $1 million US, but like 100 million plus is an insane amount that I don't think any normal human could possibly even spend in their lifetime.
And also, like, if you're caught with $1 billion or like caught trying to like bend the rules, you also still get thrown in jail.
Yeah.
You like have other people, using their name to like, act as a bank for you. If we catch you doing that shit, you're going to jail and you can't buy your way outside.
Yeah. And if you voted for like a for-profit prison system, that's you get to be a part of it now.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. The tables have turned. But I think that's kind of what they fear. They fear being dominated, so they try and dominate other people.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to keep the upper hand at all possible points. Is what it seems like. Because they want that territory that is on the border of all these Middle Eastern countries. This is how Destiny even justified it. that like if we didn't have Israel, like the whole world would fall apart because the Middle East would dominate everything, and we have to be so terrified of the people in the Middle East.
They just want to live, bro.
Like
They just
for
want to.
real. And yeah, this is definitely not helping the Muslims want to kill us situation, like a Muslim ban or like a fucking taking their fucking land. Yeah, it's not. I think it's been proven over time that you can't just eradicate a group of people. It just doesn't work like that. It's just not gonna ever happen. Or like
And then
fully
they
take
give us,
power away
they
from a
sell
group of
us like
people.
phones, and then they realize like maybe we should not go now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and this
no,
guy's
like, it's like
fast.
they're
Yeah,
fucking. It's like they want chaos, bro. They don't care because they have a fucking bomb shelter. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I think it's hide.
fucking.
This is just a
Fuck
negotiating
'em,
tactic aimed
bro.
at getting compromises from both Hamas and Arab leaders. With, for example, one analyst telling the Times that faced with a choice between controlling Gaza and just maintaining some sort of presence there, it might choose the latter. And then with Saudi Arabia, for example, another expert saying it might give up its insistence on Palestinian statehood in exchange for a deal that preserves Palestinians' rights to stay in Gaza. Though there, I will say, Saudi Arabia quickly rejected Trump's plan and reiterated its stance that it will not normalize ties with Israel unless Israel agrees to the creation of a Palestinian state. But some still
There you
think that the
go.
Saudi position could change, with some pointing to Trump's first term, for example,
No.
when the UAE agreed to normalize ties with Israel in exchange for Israel postponing the annexation of occupied territory in the West Bank. And so ultimately, we're going to have to wait to see where things go from here. And I mean that both long term and also in the next few weeks. Right? And that because a very big thing is that the first phase of the ceasefire is over at the end of the month. While talks for the second phase are reportedly now underway, there is a lot of ways that this could go wrong. And it's obviously not yet clear exactly what kind of impact Trump's comments are going to have. And so in the meantime, I would love to know any and all thoughts, reactions, opinions you have on this in those comments down below, because yes, this is a news show, but I also want it to be a conversation. And then we'll get to more news in just a moment. But first, I've been taking Armor Colostrum for months, and I can genuinely say I've noticed a difference in my QR code on screen. But then, in other big news we need to talk about, the Trump administration has now effectively shut down USAID. We talked about this whole messy situation earlier this week, and specifically Elon Musk's
I don't even
involvement
know
is
what's going
totally
on anymore.
imploding the 6-decade mission to ensure American security through a wide range of aid abroad. But then, yesterday, the administration said in a notice
It's like
sent
he
to staff
cut
and posted on
everything
the
the moment he
USAID
got in
website that
office.
almost all
I
workers
like
around the
one
world will be put on.
person I heard talking about this. It's like a tactic called shock and awe to like overwhelm people like right off the bat with like a ton of shit, so they can't even like keep track of it all or do anything about it really,
You
because
distract
there's
him
just
from
so
like
much
big
happening.
moves.
Yeah,
Administrative
Yeah.
leave pulled from
crazy.
postings in the field abroad starting this Friday, or with the only exceptions there being for what they
Can
described
we
as
just like do away with like executive orders? Can we make every fucking change take forever so we can like really think about what we're doing? Like take a breather.
designated personnel
Like
responsible
anytime a
for
law
mission
changes
critical
or anything,
functions or leadership and
everybody
Let's all
needs to vote on
meditate
it.
over it. Let's sleep on it. Like
Mhm.
have a solid
Take a
meal and a
mushroom,
nice
test the
rest.
universe.
Yeah. Ask your God, your guides. Like, is this the
Mhm.
right choice? So basically, what we do over here, yeah, I imagine not every country is this frantic and irrational with their decision making. Like,
They're not
the
irrational.
UK seems like
they just don't care. Honestly,
yeah,
I just
yeah.
don't think they need to care, or they feel like they need to care because
They don't
just
feel
are.
any of the repercussions for their actions
Yeah.
currently.
specially designated programs who are
But
directed
then 9/11 happens, and then they're like, "Oh God, no, we must declare a war on terror," because yeah, the first
Mhm.
war that got us here fucking did amazing.
Yeah.
to keep working and
How's
will
that
be
war on terror going, guys?
informed about next steps by
It's-
tomorrow. And so for all other staff
25
posted
years
abroad, which
later.
is about 2/3 of the agency's 10,000 employees, the notice says that the State Department is working on a plan to arrange and pay for their travel home. Though notably, the notice did say the agency, seemingly referring to USAID, will consider case-by-case exceptions and return travel extensions based on personal or family hardship, mobility, or safety concerns, or other reasons. Or with that, including the need for the children of employees to finish school, family
What
medical
really
needs, and other
bothers me is
reasons.
the idea
But
that
as
they
the
will
Associated
replace
Press
soldiers with AI weapons. That bothers the shit out of me.
That is horrible. And like the robot dogs, and I think it was the leader of Hamas that they got him with a drone, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. No, also no, just one political party can actually lead Norway because they need other parties backing them. So basically, yeah. Yeah, and we don't even have term limits. And yeah, like in Israel, like Netanyahu's been in power forever.
Explained, it's unclear who at USAID would be processing those claims or other documents for the removal of thousands of workers abroad, given the fact that most of the agency is being fired or put on leave come Friday, or how the administration plans to pay for the travel and relocation of those workers and their families, which experts say will cost tens of millions of dollars, given the fact that most agency spending has been frozen. And even if the people who are supposed to process these requests are deemed essential and allowed to keep working, the people they're supposed to help are already being cut off from the tools they need to communicate. Or with the AP reporting that many of the aid workers abroad are locked out of email and emergency communications with their own government. And with this specifically, to work around that, employees were told to email a specific USAID official their personal contact information so they could continue to communicate. But there, you had one worker telling CNN that when they did so, they literally got a bounce back email saying the person is also on leave. And so as a result, it's been widely reported that USAID workers are scrambling to get everything sorted and leave the countries that they and their families have been living in. With many now saying that despite the administration's assurances, they're still worried about being stranded abroad or left to make their own way home, given how short the time frame is, the general mess and confusion, and the cutoff of communications. And all of this is some staffers are reportedly having to make difficult decisions about pulling their kids
Yeah,
mid-school
I've
year,
heard
others
that.
having to give away pets because they don't have enough time to get the proper documentation to relocate them. And this is a very big thing. Reportedly, some have been placed directly in harm's way. For example, one contractor who's posted in an often violent region of the Middle East telling the AP that the shutdown endangered their family because they were unable to reach the US government for help. Or with this contractor saying that one morning they woke up and they had just been blocked from accessing their government email and other systems, including an emergency panic button that was taken off their phone. And so with all this, we've seen continued uproar from USAID employees, Democrats, and other advocates who have broadly condemned the continued erosion of the agency that culminated in this final straw. And with that, we've seen protests taking place in the nation's capital, where hundreds of demonstrators were joined by Democratic lawmakers who delivered remarks as people reportedly yelled, "Lock him up and do your job." And notably, those are coming as other protests against Trump and Project 2025 are also being planned around the country today, with those being part of a movement that aims to hold 50 protests in all 50 states today, many of
Seems
which are
rather
planned at state
balanced though,
capitals. But as
Pinky.
far as what happens next with USAID, I mean, saying it's really unclear, that is truly the understatement of the year. And by year, I mean the
I don't know much about
275 days of
Norwegian politics
January
though.
that we have all lived through together. The one thing that just appears certain is that this mass relocation will be a huge fucking mess and put people in challenging and outright dangerous positions. But this also, as it's very likely that many of these actions will be challenged in lawsuits. But as we talked about on Monday, Democrats and experts have argued that because Congress passed legislation enshrining USAID as an independent agency, it can't be shut down without the approval of the legislative branch. And beyond that, as you had the AP explaining, staff being placed on leave include both foreign and civil service officers who have legal protection against arbitrary dismissal and being placed on leave without reason. With them adding there that the union that represents U.S. diplomats has already sent a notice to members saying it was preparing legal action. But for now, we're gonna have to wait to see how this absolute shitstorm plays out. But that's the story, and I do want to share my opinion on this, and if you care about this country, please listen to the end. Right? Almost all geopolitical experts agree that the death of USAID means the end of the American century. And all around the world, you have experts expecting that millions of people will die from preventable disease and hunger because of this. Reportedly, 20 million people will lose access to life-saving HIV medication, and USAID workers predict even more kids will be born HIV positive now. Experts also believe that millions could die from malaria throughout all of Africa, and this is over 100,000 refugees in Thailand are losing access to medical care after several hospitals shut down. And it's also unknown just how many Vietnamese kids will step on old US bombs and become victims of a war that ended 50 years ago without USAID's efforts to eliminate them. And all of this, as do you know how much is allocated to USAID in the federal budget? $38 billion. Do you know how much that costs you, the taxpayer, every year? About $50 a year. It's less than 1% of the budget. And this is Elon Musk has called the agency criminal and radical without evidence. And notably, before they took USAID's website down, you could see where every single dollar was going and why. With some arguing the reason Elon and others would want to take the site down was so they could lie about it and so you wouldn't be able to check. But with all this, I just have to say something really quick, right? This is not a charity or a subsidy. America and these programs, it's not just a big bleeding heart. We do all of this because it's in our own interest. It fights disease before it gets to our borders. It creates new markets for our goods, and it makes people like America. It has created unprecedented soft power and has furthered our interests more than any military action, sanctions package, or tariff ever has. And one of the lessons the World War II generation learned is that people like helpers, and giving people a helping hand, it's a great investment. Right? They didn't do the
Reciprocity, bro. Reciprocity. That's like what one of the big things that will fucking save us if capitalism, when capitalism, if capitalism ever fucking fully fucking eats shit. Reciprocity. Like actually people just caring about each other and getting that in return and being like, oh, you got oranges? Okay, I have apples. Like, and actually just fucking doing good actually pays off. I know like we're conditioned in this society where like bad people are successful, but when if money goes away, that is no longer like the rule of law.
Mm,
Like that's not at least how it should be in my opinion. Like we
mhm,
don't have to live in a society based off like power and control and fear. Fucking
mhm.
bullshit way to live in my opinion.
I hear that.
Marshall Plan because they
Fucking
felt bad
silly
for the
ass
Germans who were just shooting at
motherfucking
them. They
humans,
did it
bro. We
because they
need a
needed a market
matriarchy.
for their exports. And
I'm
the
just
end
saying.
result was that it made America richer and
saying.
it gave us allies. That's why they created USAID as a bipartisan program. The Myanmar chapter of USAID, that is a Mitch McConnell passion project. The HIV and malaria program, that was President George W. Bush. Tibet human rights, that's Nancy Pelosi. No one loves the Dalai Lama more than Nancy. But now, China will very likely fill the place of the United States on the global stage with their Belt and Road Initiative. They will likely pay pennies on the dollar for incredible amounts of goodwill, and in 10 to 20 years, you may look back and say, when did the world start liking communists more than us? And it may very well be this exact moment. But then, switching gears from that, we should talk about what the hell is going on with the USPS. Because yesterday,
Bro,
you
I
might have
get
seen
called a
headlines
communist
like
all the time. I've
USPS
never called
suspends
myself a
incoming
fucking
parcels
communist
from
just
Hong
because I
Kong
think
and
people
China. This
deserve
announcement
food and
coming
shelter.
very suddenly,
That's
and
crazy.
also it was kind of short. It essentially just said that the USPS wouldn't be accepting packages from China and Hong Kong until further notice, and that letter
What?
size items would not be affected. But it never said why they were doing this, and so it led to a lot of speculation from people and outlets. Though the most likely reason was tied to Trump's new tariffs on Chinese goods going into effect, and most notably an end to the de minimis
Bye,
exception. Because a
Timu.
very key thing is that before these new Trump rules, Chinese packages
Goodbye
valued at under
forever.
$800 were allowed to come into the US
Until I
tax-free, which
move
is
to South
very
Africa.
notable for a number of reasons, including
Yes.
that most countries have
What's
exceptions
up,
that are far
Kellogg?
lower than that.
How's
And
it
so
going?
companies like Temu and Shein have heavily relied on that in order to offer cheap items to American customers. Then, after all of that, this morning we saw the USPS flip-flop, with them announcing that they would continue accepting these packages, saying in a statement, the USPS and Customs and Border Protection are working closely together to implement an efficient collection mechanism for the new
Trump's
China
like,
tariffs
oh
to
fuck,
ensure
I
the
get my
least
golf balls
disruption to
from there.
package delivery. And so that statement essentially confirmed the assumption that the initial suspension was because of the new tariffs. Though, to be very clear here, the USPS accepting
That one's
packages
pretty
from China does
good.
not
But
mean
you're
that the
doing
de
okay.
minimis exception is back. And that is regardless if the item was shipped to USPS, FedEx, or some other carrier. And so now, if you are ordering something from Temu or from China, there's a good chance that you'll need to deal with customs and pay the extra 10% for the tariff, which also means that there will likely be delays as customs navigates how the hell to handle this flood of packages from China. But I mean, they reportedly receive over 4
What's the
million
point of this?
packages a week from China that
What
would
good
have
is this
qualified
doing?
for the exception. And also, all of this comes as China has now implemented its
Are we
own
just trying to
15%
bully
tariff
people?
on many American
Is that
goods,
really
with
it?
a spokesperson saying that the US must, quote, cease its
Crazy.
unreasonable suppression of Chinese companies, and that China will continue to take necessary measures to firmly defend the legitimate rights of Chinese companies. And so with this, for many, this entire situation kind of just felt like another example of the Trump administration kind of winging it. With the seeing takes like, what a total clown show, and this administration has seemingly made decisions almost daily that are then reversed, often with fanfare, like they actually accomplished something. It's wild. There were also a lot of others that had theories that Bezos might have been involved in order to protect his profits. Though on that note, with this news, we saw that leading to Amazon stocks falling nearly 3%. But ultimately, that is where we are, though who knows where we're going to be in 24 hours from now. Maybe the tariffs go away, maybe they go from 10% to 8,000%. Maybe there's no tariff anymore, but when you get your package, you got to do a little dance for the person delivering it. Personally, I'll be doing the cha-cha slide. Fuck it. Yeah, that's the end of that story. Then, next up, let's talk about how it seems like the CIA is next on the Trump administration chopping block. Or with us now learning that the Central Intelligence Agency just offered to buy out their entire workforce. And it's like those buyouts we talked about before, right? A deferred resignation program offering 8 months pay for those that want to leave their positions by tomorrow. But notably, those first offers were focused on workers at civilian federal agencies. And now what we're seeing is that the CIA is the first intelligence agency to make this offer to their employees. And again, we're seeing some of the same concerns, especially regarding the legality of this offer. We're seeing Senator Tim Kaine saying, there's no statutory authority that I can see for the president making this offer. And adding, they'll find some other way to get rid of you. You should not raise your hand. But then also, on top of the offer for people to leave, the CIA is reportedly freezing their hiring processes. With the Wall Street Journal there citing an aide to the CIA director John Ratcliffe, saying that some applicants are likely to see their conditional offers rescinded unless they have a background aligned with the agency's new goals. With that aide there specifically citing the goal of undermining China. And they also went on to say that it was Ratcliffe's idea for the buyout to extend to the CIA, saying that it would pave the way for a more aggressive approach within the agency. Right? And that does line up with what he said during his confirmation hearing last month, where he promised
Felt like
hard-edged
he's
spying
been in the
operations
office
and
for a
covert action.
year
But then also
already,
telling
bro. I
CIA
got
workers,
such
if all that
whiplash
sounds
right
like what you
now.
signed up for, then buckle up and get ready to make a difference. And then adding,
I'm
if
like
it
full
doesn't,
on
then it's time to
leaving.
find a
Like
new
I'm
line of
done.
work. Now with this, while the entire CIA workforce
I'm
got
sorry.
this
Good luck,
offer, we're
guys.
not exactly sure how many will actually
I'm
be
on the
eligible. With
journey.
the seeing there, a source telling CNN that some positions and areas of expertise are likely to be restricted. And
Good
adding
to
that
have
the
you.
efforts to trim down staff is far less expensive in the CIA than it is in civil service agencies that aren't doing national security work. Also, considering that they do not
Some
disclose
guy
exactly
just
how many
got
people they
out of
employ,
a
there's still a lot of
car
questions regarding
at
the
an
impact this is.
intersection, threw on the hazards, then got on a bike and rode away. What the fuck? Did his car break down, Ryder? That's wild. Be careful, we might not have a choice leaving. Yeah, bro. I'm like, I don't even know, man. I I don't even know. I'm scared. I'm scared. I love
No,
everybody. Shock and awe methods, definitely. Yeah, bro, this is insane. And the plane crashing, and oh my
going to happen. But
god,
really, other than that, we don't have much more information. But it will be interesting to see
what a
what does
chaotic
or doesn't
month.
happen, especially considering that the
Damn,
window to
Ryder, that's
accept
a
this
little
deal is
chaotic.
closing
There's
fast. And
protests
then we'll get
happening
back to
today
more news
too.
in just a moment. But I want to share why I'm a huge fan
Maybe
of
he
today's
threw his
sponsor,
car
Rocket Money.
in
And the short answer
park
is
and
they
put
have
his
my back and they
hazards
can have
on
yours
because he
too.
was
Because Rocket
blocking
Money
the
is a
road.
personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Right? And they show all my subscriptions in one place and they help me cancel the ones I forgot about so I'm not wasting money. And with all the free trials out there, the ones we forget about and automatically convert to paid subscription, money.com/PDS. But then moving
So
on to a different
crazy.
kind of news, we should talk about how social media companies appear to have found a sneaky loophole to quietly fight against online protections for kids so they don't look bad. And as far as what that loophole is, it's paying lobbyists to file lawsuits on their behalf. Right? And sometimes those lobbyists go against explicit promises that the company has made to safeguard children on their platforms. Right? And that is what we're seeing play out with Meta right now in Maryland. So you see, back in May, the governor signed a bill known as the Kids Code that strictly limited the data that tech companies can gather on minors, which made Maryland the second state to enact those kinds of restrictions after California. And specifically, the law requires companies to conduct impact assessments, ensuring that their products are protecting the best interests of children and mandating that they prioritize the well-being of children ahead of commercial interests. And notably, both Maryland and California's laws here are modeled after similar rules in the UK. But the decision to pass this law came as its sister in California was already being challenged by a lobbying group called NetChoice, which represents some of the biggest tech companies like Meta, X, Snap, and Google. And so amid concerns that the lobbying group would sue Maryland over its new law as well, state lawmakers wrote a letter to NetChoice members urging them to, quote, comply with the law and not attempt to undermine this bipartisan life-saving effort by suing to block its enactment through your lobbying group NetChoice. And the concerns there appear to have been proved legitimate because this week, NetChoice filed a suit against Maryland's Kids Code, arguing that the law violates free speech and consumer privacy, arguing that this act compels websites to act as government speech police and would subject them to a vague and subjective best interests of children standard that gives state officials nearly boundless discretion to
Oh,
restrict
Mark,
speech. Now, of
Mark,
course,
Mark,
the suit
Mark.
itself
Why are
is
you
not a surprise, but it
stop
is super
awaken?
significant because it comes just months after Meta explicitly promised that it would not try to fight the policy in court. Right? When Maryland lawmakers
He's
wrote that letter
celebrating
urging
his
NetChoice members not to
first
block the bill,
child's
a law firm
21st
representing Meta responded in an
birthday.
email which was obtained by
Did you
reporters
see?
vowing to comply in writing. Meta is not aware of a legal
He's
challenge
going
to the
through a
Maryland
midlife
Kids Code
crisis.
and does not plan to support one. But despite that promise, when NetChoice filed a lawsuit against Maryland this week, Meta was still signed on as a member company. Now, with that, as far as how Meta has responded, spokespeople reportedly declined to comment when asked by the Washington Post, but they did point to the company's policies regarding its support
My
of
mic
third-party
is a
groups.
bit
With that,
muffled and
stating that
low.
Meta, quote, does not always agree with every
What
policy or
the?
position that individual organizations or their leadership take. But
Is
with
this
that, we're
better?
seeing experts calling
Hello?
bullshit, with one explaining to the Post, Meta and other big tech
Nope.
giants pay NetChoice because it's
I'm a
obviously
little closer.
unpopular to fund lawsuits against kids, but bottom line,
Let
Mark
me
Zuckerberg
see
is
if
paying
I
for this
found it
lawsuit.
right
And while Meta's
more.
actions here seem especially egregious, this is far from the only time that the promises big tech companies have
Hey,
made
whoa,
contradict the shady
whoa,
actions of their
whoa,
lobbying
Kellogg,
groups.
thank
While these
you for the
platforms have promised
subscription.
change and assured
44
lawmakers that
months.
they take these issues seriously,
Thank you so much.
lobbyists like NetChoice have launched a massive effort to stop governments at all levels from
Yeah.
passing
I don't
safety
know.
measures. For example,
It
during a
sounds
high-profile Senate
weird.
hearing last year, the CEOs of Snap,
Your
X, publicly
microphone,
affirmed
Ryder.
their support
What's
for the No
going
Fault Kids
on?
Online Safety Act, or NOSA. Elon Musk himself also voicing support for the bill, but NetChoice was one of the most vocal proponents of the bill and successfully lobbied against
Cassie,
it, blocking its ultimate path to the House. Beyond that, NetChoice
my wife.
alone is also reportedly
I'm
found
gonna head to bed because it's 2 a.m. 3 a.m.
Okay. Yes. Sweet dreams, my love. Thank you for
Sweet
hanging out with
dreams.
us.
Love you. Absolutely.
Good
Have a
night.
good time.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
I
you.
love you.
I will.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, go follow Martlet Norval. Go follow them. Go follow them on the thing. Is my mic any better now? Is it any better? I have this video I want to play for you guys.
Mr. Speaker, this is in response to what you are telling me earlier in the morning when
No?
you are urging me to be a good example to the girls, the younger ones who are doing their first term. Mr. Speaker, if they are good girls, they'll never get corner office. Be as bad as Millie Odiabo, you will be the mother of this house. I am a bad girl, and as a bad girl, I'm here serving my 4th term. So do not be cheated like the African culture where you are told have decorum, dress nicely, be kind, be nice. I'm telling you, you will go nowhere. Be a bad girl like me and you'll get somewhere. Mr. Speaker, this is in response to what you are telling me earlier in the morning when you are urging me to be a good example to the girls, the younger ones who are doing their first term. Mr. Speaker, if they are good girls, they'll never get corner office. Be as bad as Millie Odiabo, you will be the mother of this house. I am a bad girl, and as a bad girl, I'm here serving my 4th term. So do not be cheated like the African culture where you are told have decorum, dress nicely, be kind, be nice. I'm telling you, you will go nowhere. Be a bad girl like me and you'll get somewhere. Mr. Speaker, this is in response
different lawsuits challenging state internet regulations. So this most notably including a landmark Supreme Court case where the group successfully argued against now defunct laws in Florida and Texas. Right, so at the very least, the next time you hear some tech CEO talking about child safety or the policies they claim they're implementing, remember that this just goes much, much deeper. There's public facing and there's behind closed doors. Forever and always. Different rooms, same house. But then, finally today, let's end with a congratulations and talk about yesterday. Starting with a congratulations to Brian R., SeatGeek's latest weekly winner who scored $500 in tickets in. He's headed to the men's basketball Final Four. And for the rest of y'all, that's right, SeatGeek is still giving away $500 in tickets, and you should definitely enter today if you haven't already. But imagine being the next winner and snagging $500 towards seeing your favorite artist, sporting event, or play. I mean, y'all, there's over 70,000 events to choose from. And all you gotta do is just add code PDS to your SeatGeek app profile for a chance at the weekly $500 prize, no purchase necessary. But then, like I said, let's talk about yesterday in some commentary. And I just want to start off here by just saying, thank you, I appreciate you, I love that we have this community where even if everyone doesn't agree and we're having a conversation, that at least a conversation can be had and it's just not a billion people jabbing at one another, because that is just very much not the case elsewhere on the internet. People take questions as statements, I'm getting attacked, I'm getting high-fived, and I'm like, I literally have a show where we talk about the news and people's opinions and reactions. I want to know your reaction. But I also understand very tense times, everyone's attacking each other, people are incredibly divided. So there's that. I love your faces. I appreciate you. So speaking on the craziness of the times, the most liked comment yesterday was, I sure love the latest episode of Things Are Really Bad, Getting Worse, and there's nothing to do about it except wait till tomorrow when it's worse. Some then replying, shirt-worthy comment. I'm just gonna cut you off there. No, that is the most depressing sounding shirt I've ever heard of, and I'm the guy that sells emotionally exhausted shirts. But a big thing that I want to stress with the news of the past 2 weeks, or really anything we cover, yes, there are always going to be things that you cannot control, which is why it's important to, one, try to consume these things and compartmentalize like crazy, otherwise it will just ruin your life. And two, a lot about actually like being the change that you want to see in the world. A lot of that, it has to be prefaced by and built upon being informed on what's happening. So right now, in the beginning of the chaos, we're seeing people community building, we're seeing people organizing so that they can actually do pressure campaigns on Congress people. But yeah, the majority of Americans who participated in the election this last cycle, they gave Republicans the keys to the kingdom. And that drastically limits what the opposition against Trump can do. And the ultimate
mics
test
are
on just so
scuffed
many
right now,
fronts
guys. I'm
is
so
what
sorry.
happens with the legal battles. We saw judges hitting birthright citizenship. We saw judges hitting on the spending freeze. Lawsuits are popping up and piling up left and right. And I think for the Trump administration, those things happening, that's not like out of nowhere or an example of it being a messy thing that's happening. They're going to want to fight every single thing all the way to the Supreme Court to see, you know, what they can actually do and what they can change, especially with this specific Supreme Court. So if possible, and obviously in this context it is self-serving, do not tune out, whether it be me or someone that replaces me that you like more, but compartmentalize as much as you actually can. But as far as comments about specific news stories, yesterday we saw things like, so unelected officials can't be in charge of public education, but they can have unsupervised access to national funds and all that apparently. Right, that makes sense. Right, and understandably, there was a lot of focus on Elon Musk. Y'all saying things like,
Am I
oh, Republican
driving?
leaders complain about unelected
Or in a
people,
car?
but Elon Musk apparently gets a free pass.
No.
There, I will say, yeah, it became very
I would
obvious
not
during the
be able to
election that for
stream
all the
like
talk
this
from many
if I
Republicans regarding
was.
like, oh, Democrats and George Soros, these billionaires manipulating everything. It seemed like the issue is that they did not have their
I
own
would be on my
George Soros, and then
phone,
they
which I
got
don't know how I
their
would manage
own
this on my
something that was actually
phone.
way more powerful than George Soros. He was like George Soros on steroids, or at the very least, like an exaggerated version of what they think he is. And all of that, and a lot of what we're seeing kind of
Yes, I'm watching at 1.5 times speed because I'm trying to
so, for example, King's Bard swiping at Musk,
get
saying the
through
absolute
it.
irony of this is insane. Unelectable, unaccountable, bureaucratic agency? You mean like Doge?
All right,
Yeah,
well,
and
that's the
separate from
state
that,
of
there
the
was also
world. All right. Can we just all... Slumdog Millionaire. Call me Slumdog Millionaire. That's me. That's me. I didn't live in slums like this, so. It's like when Lex Luthor became president in Superman. Fuck. Are we being tested? It doesn't seem that bad. Like, I've seen worse places in America, for sure. But no superheroes. We need more superheroes, man. How do we give each other powers? What do we do? Hey man, I lived in Portland. This ain't nothing. Portland was kind of crazy. They seem like they're vibing. Maybe Mike is too close to the mouth. No pop filter. I don't know. I'm using my Yeti again though. I'm getting tired already. Fuck. Radiation works more like Toxic Avenger. I don't know. I have been busy, yes. I actually should get off and film. There's a thing I need to work on right now, but I just wanted to pop on and say hello and watch the new Philip DeFranco and check in with you guys and see how you guys are doing. The world was stressing me out for a second and I wanted to yap about it. As I do. Busy and exhausted? Yeah, dude. Ugh, I'm exhausted. I have to work though, because like I have bills and all that shit. I'm just so fucking wiped. So wiped, man. So wiped, man. Oh shit, I hear myself twice. No, I don't. Don't like that. I work, I go home, and that's it. Yep, I work at home. I am home. I am work. That's it. So far, still leaving in April. Where are you going in April? Trying silly hats and vibing.
Come back to YouTube. I decided to make unboxing
Subscribed.
of these things that I order and some other random stuff. So I hope you like it. Do you guys mind? I don't want to wear makeup. I don't want to wear makeup. Don't make me wear makeup. I wear makeup every day. Please let me just make my YouTube videos with no makeup.
You don't want to wear no
If I do
makeup.
wear makeup, I'll upload some more videos.
You're
It's so annoying.
beautiful.
Just please let me. I'll draw an eyebrow and I'll be back. Just wait. So I ended up doing the whole thing because I hate my face.
No, your face is beautiful.
I have a very amazing thing I want to show you. I haven't seen it in real life, I just saw it on pictures, so it's also my first time looking at them. I ordered 2 hats. I don't really use hats, but just because of this, I'm gonna have to use hats from now on. So, this is the thing. There was this collaboration of
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to see the hat.
on my clothes. I could literally be wearing anything, it will still match.
Wow.
Like, perfectly. So good. Same with this,
Beautiful.
it goes perfectly with absolutely everything that I own. So it's a very, very good. Also, I get
Very
a
beautiful.
lot of questions like, where do I get my clothes? Are you really interested in where do I?
They're like a real life anime character. I like them. They're cool. To the desert. To the desert? Chog! Are you being stationed in the desert? Are you okay? Can you say where? Kellogg. Kellogg. I can save you. Kellogg, no. No, Kellogg! Kellogg, no! Kellogg! Kellogg, no! Be safe. Be safe in the desert. See, we just watched the Chinese slums. Now what is the projects like?
What's up, you guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Capriciana. It's me. What's up, y'all? So I have been seeing this video of doing low income, based on income apartment tours, and I just have to do it because when I first did a video, I tried to make it look all luxury, but y'all, I really stay in the trenches for real. And I stay in Atlanta, Georgia, in an income based apartment, and yeah, the waiting list is normally very long to get in, but God blessed me. I literally got in the same day I went. I don't know how. I just really feel like it's God. I do know how. That's how it is. It's God. Anyways, y'all, I am a 24-year-old mother of one. I have one son, and I stay in a studio apartment. So let's get into this tour. I'm going to go ahead and start downstairs. I got to show y'all the depth of this video. So let's go and get into it. Okay, y'all, so this is the downstairs I was talking about. This is how it looks walking up. Look at the wall, trash. And it's not really homeless people right here for real, or people be doing drugs right here.
Damn, girl, no. It's rough.
And it goes.
Be like that though.
Downstairs, down here. And this is the mailbox on the outside. So you go back up here, and this is how you get to my place. Stay upstairs. Showing y'all again. So you go all the way upstairs, and this is how it looks. It's a glass piece. Then you go up these couple of stairs, and I'm right here. Okay, y'all, so when you first walk in, this is the door. This is the door, and it seems pretty secure. I don't know if these were locks on it or something before. I don't know, but this is how the door looks, and that's the bottom of it. So heading right along, y'all, this is how it looks when you first step in. I have this right here because this is already closed, and I need to wash. So this just right here, it's not normally right here. But here I store miscellaneous
Part of the
items.
job. I mean, be safe, man.
Travel, an old fan, and these
Be
are
safe.
some gifts that I actually need to wrap. As y'all see, I still have Halloween decorations, but it's cool. So right after the door, here is the hallway part. Here is some wall decor. This is how the wall looks. I hung up this mirror right here. It was right here originally, but I didn't hang it up right, so I just decided to rehang it right here, and it broke a little, but that's besides the point. So this is the hallway. But directly by the door, as you can see, this is the bathroom. So I'm going to turn on this bathroom light for y'all. This is a mini-sized bathroom, but it's convenient. So here is a small mirror that's provided, and of course it's a cabinet. Needs a little bit of detail cleaning inside, but it's fine. This is a sink, and this is a toilet. This paint came off a while ago, and I tried to get them to fix it. They still haven't done it, but that's how it's looking. So here go the sink, and here is the wall part heading to the toilet down there, and this is the tub. So let's go ahead and take a look inside this tub, and here it is. I tried scrubbing this tub a lot, y'all, and as you guys can see, it's already peeling. And when I first moved in, y'all, the tub was crispy white, but then I realized as long as I stayed, this tub started peeling. So it's been very hard to get,
painted that shit, bro. I've stayed in hotels like that. That shit's so dumb. You can't just like paint a bathtub.
It's apparent. It's going to be 2025. Excuse me. So y'all know that these apartments are old, but it's convenient right now. This is the air conditioning. This is the air conditioning inside the apartment. Actually, this is the air conditioning, and this is like the monitor for the bathroom. And
that's a long video.
And it pushed in.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna use those soon because he's gonna his items in here. But I have my jewelry on top, my vitamins, and this is his container. So it doesn't feel very secure to leave the blinds open. So although it's clear, I pretty much keep these blinds closed. Right here is the bedside stand. So I leave my. This is how big the studio apartment is. I already gave you guys a tour of all this, but over here, this is a side mirror where I can, you know, take some sort of pictures. And I have my prayer board up here. And then this is where my son eats his dinner. It's kind of hard with him eating right here because I can't sweep the floor. So I just have to pretty much try to keep it clean.
I hope she makes enough money from this YouTube channel where she could live in a nice place.
So right here, this closet door is basically where they will fix the air conditioning. So this is how it looks on the inside. box or whatever. And so
No judgment.
and stuff
It's
like
kind of
that.
sussy.
So that's cool. And a vacuum, and there that is. Easy, it makes impossible. Luke 137. Up here is our snack drawer right above
Hey,
the
at
oven.
least she has a place to be
And we got
though.
some noodles and stuff,
Because
macaroni up there.
sucks
Quick
not
stuff for my
having a place
son.
to be.
So there's
Fucking
that. This is the
heard
air
from a
conditioning
friend of
over
a
here.
friend
And
that
this
they
little
got paid to
dead
do an
dead
eviction
roach in my
today,
husband
and they
and
left
not
halfway
even
through the
on the
job because that shit was so
Said,
fucked
let
up.
God handle it, okay? And he been handling it.
I got paid $20 an hour to evict someone from their house.
Here's some more drawer space.
That's
So under here,
crazy.
keep my oven, pots, and pans. This is my son's drawer. Like some baby food, even though he no longer really eat that for real no more. Rice and stuff, yogurt pouches, cups and bowls. Up here is my silverware drawer. Do it. And this here is how the window view look again. Because it's a whole nother building that's pretty close where people live. And I'd be scared to leave it open.
Man, that's what I'm saying. We could design housing to be so much more like relaxing, like, right? Like there's actually nature outside, right? Because like Georgia has good nature, like stuff grows there really well.
At least it's still like lights come in, so that it is. Actually hanging up some curtains probably would help a little bit, but yeah.
And also, it seems like she's like a little nervous about people looking in because it's just her and her kid. So that, yeah, that's rough.
Window decor, some plants, and I got napkins. This wine is actually disgusting. First time purchasing it.
She made it homey though.
And some old flowers because I just think they still bring out some look. And trick or treat, it's not Halloween anymore, so I gotta take that down. And this here's a Corpse Bride poster, something to just help the look. As y'all see, I hang up a lot of stuff, so.
No, you made it homey. I like it.
And
it's better than if it was just bare bones for sure.
Your girl detail cleaned this fridge for y'all. Like, don't even play with me. Period. I do have some open meat down there, but I'm cooking that stuff today. So, yep. Got some eggs and stuff, milk, all of my side stuff over here. So that works. And my veggies and cheese and stuff at the bottom. Then in the freezer, see how clean it looks, period. But have frozen meat and stuff. Let's go back to here. So kitchen. This is the living room area, son's bed. And over here is the hallway. Hallway closet to store clothes and stuff. Bathroom, miscellaneous items, door. And there you go. Door. I know I know you can do this. You're a miracle worker. And so God really literally placed my auntie in my life. She helped me get in the door. And it wasn't even like a close connection with the person. She just helped me get in the door through God. She was the vessel, and my dad was also the vessel, even though he believed that I wasn't going to have nothing when I had my baby, and I have everything plus more, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? I may not be the richest, but I am rich in spirit. I am rich in life, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Well, I mean, developing things with nature or adding nature to things realistically costs zero money. It's just like if you're going to pay the labor or if you're going to buy the plants, but plants are very easy to replicate most of the time. I believe Paul Stamets, he open sourced like vertical gardens to help, urban cities redevelop their bee population to have like a vertical garden with like different, bee friendly plants and things growing along the side of it. Yeah, I guess like it costs money to 3D print things. Yeah, but like one of my main issues that I have with the world is how much we spend on very imperialistic things, and how much we don't seem to have the money to, do things like that, which I feel like would have a lot of benefit. Where am I? Aliens, where are you? Oh, we're the aliens. Yeah, true. Well, maybe I'm an alien because this is like very obvious concept to me. Like that could have been factored in when building the thing, but now we're here, right? It's already built. We could for sure improve it. It's just how many plants Donald Trump needs at Mar-a-Lago versus how many plants we feel like people, I don't know, deserve in the projects. I don't know. But then again, like the most important thing is like housing, sure, but I do feel like nature and being somewhat integrated with nature is really beneficial. Indigo children. I've always felt like an alien though. Yeah. Nice try. You're a boring human like me. I mean, definitely don't belong here, man. Or maybe I'm right where I need to be, but I definitely have not been shutting the fuck up about how much I really feel like we should not be spending money on pushing out territory in other countries, and we should be using money and resources to help people at home. And apparently that's a radical concept. Caw. Caw.
God. So that is my studio apartment based on income. I just want to say
I should be able to vote where my taxes go. That's what I'm
make your house
saying.
a tour home. It's not about where you live, it's about how you live. It's about how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Y'all see I have so many things hanging up in my home, and to some people it may not even match. But I don't care about no color coordination. I care about feeling like I'm at home. I care about walking into my home and feeling like I want to take care of it. That's what makes your house a home. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Even on your bad days, you're still grateful for what you have and you're still taking care of it like it's the last. So I just want to say shouts out to God, shouts out to y'all for watching. Thank you, God, for blessing me with this place. I pray that anyone that is watching these
Got
videos,
1 million views, girl.
place,
Keep going. Fuck yeah.
it's placed with a new place for you and your kids, or if you already have a place, make your place a home. Period. Do not care what anyone says. And feel free to do this video as well, because why not? Okay. But anyways, y'all, that's it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hope you guys have a lovely, blessed day or night. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And let me know what y'all feel about my home in the comments below. Thank you guys so much again, and bye.
So I was watching No Comment Chick, and someone mentioned in her chat that ABBA burnt the bridge with Destiny, which I was pretty surprised by, and that there was a video. And so today it was in my recommendations, so I watched it. And I found it to be very interesting. I thought there were very insightful stuff that I was really surprised to hear online from a dude. But a lot of it was not great in my opinion, but very emblematic of a lot of social phenomena that we see as acts of sexual aggression or sexual inappropriateness happens, especially when men do it.
Destiny's getting canceled, right? And the reason being this time is
Good
that
night,
he supposedly had
Drew.
intimate relationship with some
Take
women.
care.
And what he would do
Love you
is when he would film
too.
intimate moments with these ladies, record them, he would share some of these with other women he was seeing. In one case, he shared it with a
I've
19-year-old
already
girl,
been
and his friend
informed
who
on
himself
this
sleeping
stuff,
with
but
another
I do
person
kind of
without
want to hear
consent.
her opinion.
Essentially, the 19-year-old gets hacked, and that stuff was public. And thereafter, that Destiny apparently had also recorded a lot of the women while they were in his apartment without consent.
Blah, blah, blah,
And so
blah.
I kind of wanted to go over it and talk about that a little bit. Destiny and ABBA people are probably not going to like the video. It's not really for them, rather something that I want to point out to people who are interested in learning about the ways that we reinforce certain negative ideas about victims, even as we condemn the people
Yeah,
who
dude, I totally agree with that sentiment because, like, oh yeah, the whole narrative that Destiny just is a thing for mentally ill girls completely dismisses, I feel like, what reinforces and exacerbates mental illness, which is gaslighting, which is lying, which is using people, you know, like.
So it's very interesting.
So just to dismiss them as mentally ill is a bit cringe.
And you just listen to ABBA's video, and if you're not paying close attention, you might end up thinking that, as ABBA kind of puts it multiple times, Destiny's lifestyle just caught up with him. The lifestyle that ABBA warned him about.
Also, I have tweeted this and said this, but polyamory and being a gooner does not equate or lead to violating consent. Yeah, this is Katie. We talked to them last time. Last stream, we talked to Katie. So they posted a new video, so I'm just giving it a peep. If you guys want to go check it out, I'll post the link. They have other videos. I was watching some of their old videos that I hadn't caught up with recently.
And I think the root of a lot of these issues in this whole situation is that he prioritizes his own selfish desires over other people's well-being, over what's good for his business and his career, and now it's costing him more. You didn't listen to me. You're not gonna get my sympathy at this point. Nope. My sympathy is for when a tragedy happens, not when you never bothered.
A lot of ABBA's runtime in that video talks about the frustration that he had about warning Destiny about what he thought was a risky lifestyle. But here's the thing. That's not what caught up with Destiny. It wasn't the mentally ill psycho chicks that dragged Destiny down. It was the fact that Destiny did sexual crimes and got caught, right? a lot of it is framed as like, yeah, what did you expect? That was just the risk of what you were doing. And it's like, no,
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 dude.
it wasn't.
No,
The
no.
risk was that he gets into a messy relationship with a girl, right? That was the idea.
The
And
risk
so
is that
there are
somebody
two
comes
options
out
here.
with the shitty things you're
Either
doing to them.
when Abba was talking all that time about how Destiny was running a risky lifestyle, he meant, hey, one day they're going to find out about all the sexual crimes that you do, which is really bad for Abba. Like, he condemned the things, the illegal things,
Get some
and the
dinner? I
violations of
am.
consent that
I got
he
some
did
dinner
multiple
earlier.
times, and his condemnations were solid. They were good.
You can massage it however you want. It's a shitty thing.
I had a
Share a sex tape,
Salisbury
but it's not
steak
worth it.
today and a
I'm
chicken
sorry, that's fucking garbage behavior,
sandwich.
okay? It just is. Call it a spade. It's garbage behavior. Don't mush it over because you like your favorite streamer. Don't mush it over because you think he's important politically. It's garbage behavior. And like the reason why he's doing it too, it's so he can pillow talk a fucking 19-year-old.
I think we can all be honest with ourselves and look at Abba's video and know that Abba is more upset that he told Destiny to quit the hedonistic lifestyle. And he sees this
No
as
worries. What are you getting for dinner,
this
Kellogg?
hedonistic lifestyle. But the question then to ask Abba is, and maybe I'm wrong, right?
I believe
But
you
if
can be
I'm
an
right,
ethical
then the
hedonist
question is,
also.
why
I do believe in that.
see Destiny getting caught for his sexual crimes
Allegedly.
as his hedonistic lifestyle? Because presumably you didn't think
You
was
could
committing
also be
sexual crimes.
hedonistic
The hedonistic
without
lifestyle was all consensual.
doing
Like, he even
things
says that in the video.
that
People have
violate
this thing about
consent.
like, oh, you know, if everyone consents, it's fine, but it's not.
I don't care that it was all consensual. I still think
But
it
they
was
weren't
wrong in this and this
consenting.
and this way.
I
That's
don't want to
the
make this sound
issue.
like a happy
There's like
chance of forgiveness and,
violations
like, no,
of
some of this stuff is
consent.
also just
That's
morally
like
bad
the
in regards to what
problem.
he did with recording these women and all this other shit. You know, actually, one of the craziest parts about this whole story is the fact that Destiny trusted a 19-year-old Discord lady, okay, named Rose is Coming, with sex tapes of other people in his life. Nigga.
Basically, I'm trying to point out that people have a lot of cognitive dissonance, and also they have a lot of mechanisms when
Rice, chicken, small tomatoes. That sounds delicious. I'm actually gonna get the rest of my sandwich. It made me hungry.
discussions come up. There's a need to dissipate, to bring nuance even when there's no nuance to be had. To okay, but what if it was actually this? Okay, but what was that? To move the dial. I'm not sure how to verbalize what I have in my head. And I don't think Abba is doing this to like sweep for Destiny. He was very adamant. I appreciated that. That was a good video in the way that he basically says, yeah, this reflects poorly on me. I appreciated that. I thought that was good. But then it's even more emblematic of what I'm trying to explain and I guess failing is that what is it in our heads? And I'm sorry, a lot of men's heads when this happens, that there's a need to say, well, life is messy. And just to be clear, I understand that Abba wanted to use this video to lay out all the issues that he ever had with Destiny and why he's choosing to remove himself, like separate their content, right? But Abba already had these issues before the allegations about the sex crimes happened, right? So either this video was always going to happen regardless if things blew up with Destiny, which is possible, but I think it would be, and I could be wrong, but I think it would be a bit naive to think that what happened right now with Destiny didn't at least expedite that process. And so I do think that it is at least not as well. I wish Abba actually cared more about the sexual crimes than he does about the hedonism and Destiny not listening to him. But I also wish that they were separate. Abba explicitly ties and misframes what is currently happening to Destiny as a long-standing frustration that he had with him about his lifestyle, trying to point out that the way Abba kind of ties it in his head, that he sees that as like part of the same thing, is the problem that I'm trying to point out. This isn't what a lot of people would call Lav or an Anna or whoever the fuck had a thing with Destiny and got screwed over for it and got called crazy, mentally ill bitch BPD girl before I knew who Destiny was, which I'm sure there was, right? We've been doing that for like 5 to 10 years. But now when there are actual allegations that he basically fessed up to, we're still running that track. And there's a reason that we're still running that track, is because the idea of mentally ill women fucking up Destiny's life is more appealing and more angering than the idea that Destiny is some kind of a sexual perpetrator. Allegedly. All that happened was that Destiny did illegal things without his partner's consent. Or maybe they were meant to, I don't know.
Allegedly.
And then it was found out, you know? So, because The reason why I'm making the video and what I guess I was hoping that people who are interested could get out of my video is to understand that this framing is done purposefully. Well, when I say purposefully, I don't mean maliciously. I mean societally in the way that we engage in conversations about sexual misconduct. It's always about. Lonerbox said it best.
People are just kind of, they've moved on from being mad at Steven, because I guess that's like pretty cut and dry and most people agree on it.
It is so clear cut that what Destiny did in terms of the transgression that people, there's not much to say about it, so you go around and you look for other things to be able to say something that it's a little bit vague, a little bit. And in a way, you could say that I'm doing that too by criticizing Abba, because there's nothing to say about what Destiny did. I'm not litigating it, right? I'm not talking about it because we all know what happened. He basically admitted to it, blah, 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 right? This isn't about Messi. This isn't about some crazy bitch fucking over Destiny. This isn't Destiny getting caught for his hedonism and drugs. This is an adult man who did sexual crimes and he got caught.
Allegedly.
But that's not as fun. That's not as palatable, familiar, easy on the tongue. You know what I mean? Probably not. So, he also had like some profound, really, I would even say brave takes later on in the video about Destiny taking smaller female creators and inserting sex into it in a way that reinforces misogyny, especially in the light of his anti-misogyny art. I thought that was very interesting. In fact, that was something that I talked about roughly 2 years ago with the Destiny stan after the talk I had with Destiny about calling him a hypocrite about fucking his orbiters, right? And we talked about that exact point.
Oh, no, wait, hold on, I'm sorry. Actually, even the quote is okay, your summary was just horrible. So my quote is, let's say that I have a podcast, I got 30,000 viewers, let's say there's a girl that messages me, we talk a bit, and she really wants to be on, and I'm like, yeah, cool, like, you really want to come on a podcast, blah, blah, blah. I probably start second, she'll probably give in and send me nudes and shit, because she doesn't want to lose that opportunity, she might not actually want to, she might not be into it really at all, but if I start propositioning her, if she says no to me, she might worry, like, if I say no, blah, 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 I think that's right. Yeah, I think I generally stand by this, sure. I said, this is why I said hazy area, we can't really consent in the situation, because you don't know if this guy's gonna f over, if you say yes or no to them, if they have that big position of power over you, sure.
Okay, so, see, this really surprised me.
There's certain situations that you can never really read consent into, probably, and then there are others where it's hazy.
Okay, good. That's a good and you would say that, like, in the situations that you engage in, it's hazy, and that you trust yourself to be able to tell the difference.
Yep.
Okay.
She might not actually want to. She might not be into it really at all. But if I start propositioning her, if she says no to me, she might worry, like, fuck, like, if I say no to this guy, like, I'm not gonna make it on that podcast.
Oh, yeah, and are you wrong for asking? And I
yeah, I think it is wrong. Yeah, I don't think you should.
I think that he knows what he is doing, but he knows that he is doing things that are risky.
Why are they risky if he knows what he's doing?
Because he intentionally engages in behavior he considers to be risky. I don't know why he does it. I can't tell.
Why does he consider it to be risky if he can tell?
Well, what I mean risky is like the idea that like you're gonna have a bunch of drama or have falling outs with people or there's something like that. I don't mean that like it's risky in the sense that you'll violate sexual boundaries.
It's risky in the sense that he could tell, but then the girl would want to fuck him over and say that he couldn't tell.
It's along those lines, yeah. Or other situations like that, yeah.
And so the reason why I thought this was the reason why I'm considering titling this video, I guess, how condemning the perpetrator becomes victim blaming or whatever, is because, like, Abba shows a clip where he tries to tell Destiny off about his lifestyle and calls himself destructive. And then Destiny goes about how he runs his risk management, blah, 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 blah. And I actually found that clip and that interaction between them to parallel a lot of the conversations that we had in the debates around stealthing and other consent conversations, you know? Destiny would say, hey, women are being unsafe, they're doing unsafe activities. And then us, or some of us, would say, well, we're doing risk management and, you know, you jokes, the jokes you still make. I'm sorry, you can't watch a video that you know was released without someone's consent and make jokes about how Destiny sucks dick, good or bad or whatever, because it's funny to you because you think he's sucking off a Nazi. And then, like, I don't think you care about revenge porn as much as you think you do. And that doesn't mean that supporting other victims, like, is.
That's why I like these mentally ill women. That's why I like doing this stuff. That's why I can't keep my dick in my pants. It's because it's fun to realize, like, this is a story about socially retarded people, mentally ill people, all engaging in sexual behaviors, and they're not ready for it. This dude really has a penchant for going after mentally ill women, okay?
They're not ready for it? Okay. Okay.
Women with, like, severe depression or just, like, these kind of, like,
They're not ready for someone to be sociopathic and careless with their sexuality. Okay. Is anyone really ready for that? Or do people just stop having sex entirely when they realize that that's a lot of what's out there?
Smart ass, fucking feeble looking, small white women, like that's his type. And a lot of them got like self-diagnosed BPD or some bullshit. Like he just likes that. I don't know. And when he's asked why he likes
Is it self-diagnosed BPD, or is this community diagnosing them with BPD?
bringing on these self-destructive women in his streams and in his life, he likes it. It's because it's fun. It's fun
Because they're reacting poorly to an abusive dynamic.
for him to bring on women who are probably going to, at some point negatively impact his life in a huge way. He knows it's going to be short-lived. He doesn't care when these people become atomic bombs who affect everyone in the area. And it tells me that you don't really care that much about your career when you attack again who will fuck up things in your area. And like the reason why he's doing it too, it's so he can pillow talk a fucking 19-year-old. I was like, it's not that hard to bag a teenager. Pause. That's not crazy. But you know what I mean? It's not. The person who was in the videos finds out, loses her mind, files a lawsuit asking Destiny for a huge sum of money.
It's just interesting for Abba to bring up a point about Destiny doing something that reinforces stereotypes that he supposedly doesn't want to be a part of, as a large sum of his video is him contemptuously talking about mentally ill women and talking about victims losing it and asking for big sums of money, or mentally ill women being self-destructive and being atomic bombs and ruin everything in his area. Again, when the only person who did anything wrong is Steven. But if you if you just try to involve other people to massage it in, and so it's really frustrating to watch because Abba will make really good point, but the misogyny is just palpable. And then it's like mixed with this healthy dose of just ableism. And I don't know how mental health awareness person Abba is. Probably not. But there is a larger conversation to have about what DDG community has done in terms of the fetishization of like BPD girls and stuff like that. Like, yeah, Destiny does have a type, and the fact that he advertised the type is like, I like crazy bitches in my bed, and then they all happen to have BPD or whatever. Like, that has done damage. That is fetishization is not like an anti-misogyny thing, and fetishizing like a severe mental health disorders is probably not the way that to go if you care. But then I guess
Also, like, taking this type of woman that you consider a type and like antagonizing them and like knowing that they have like some kind of mental disorder, whatever, or assuming or projecting, and then just like using your audience to fuck with them. Yeah, because that's it's totally not gonna end in anything bad.
Abba doesn't fetishize mentally ill women. He just severely looks down upon them as human beings on the face of the earth, or at least that's how it sounds like, people incapable of engaging with. And now, just to clarify,
I actually enjoy engaging with people who are mentally ill. It's actually nice to understand the perspective of somebody who's mentally ill and what got them to that point. I don't think it needs to be like a gotcha, but I think we should also, like, with the same lens that we analyze women and project onto them that they have BPD, we should also consider people who are imperialistic and want to dominate other countries for no fucking reason other than greed or whatever the fuck weird supremacist bullshit they're on is also some kind of mental illness.
Does bring up a lot that like Destiny ends up leaving like a trail of broken hearts. And obviously when you have a pattern with a certain individual and you also pick people that you self-admittedly know are mentally unstable, that raises interesting questions into some power dynamics there, and the idea of specifically having a type where there's a question of agency, a question of competency. It's just there's a lot of nuance to that, but I talk a lot about mental health, and so it's really apparent just how much disdain Abba has for the idea of like women having depression or BPD.
Do you guys know BPD bitches caused World War One, Two, and Three, according to Destiny and Ava?
And so they
That's
complain
crazy.
about it, and Destiny then says they're crazy to a stream, and then everyone bullies them for a few months,
I'm Walmart love. What do I know? Wow, 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 wow.
Okay, but what you're doing with like Islam is like community service.
It's not community service. It's a relevant political issue. I am a political pundit, so of course it's something I'm going to talk about. That's my job.
Relevant political issue. You mean the way that you talk about a religion that has a billion people practicing, and you choose to focus on some people, and then say that's all of Islam, and then shit on all the religion, and then take fundamental like nations that a lot of Muslim people don't support and say that they represent Muslim people and all that thing? Like, come on.
I don't know. I don't even know what any of that meant. So one, I
What?
literally did it in this
What? I understood what she
conversation, and I've
meant.
done it plenty of times. I draw huge circles around the types of Muslims that I criticize. I've said a million times that the Muslims that exist in the U.S. and Canada, or at least in the U.S., are awesome. I have no problems with them. They're usually my go-to examples of
That is not what I remember him
how,
saying.
like, just because somebody's a particular religion doesn't mean they have to be like a. No, there are people that don't inherit all the more disgusting beliefs from some of the Muslim majority countries they come from, where they chop up like little girls' pussies.
Welcome back.
So
You're all
I'm
good.
critical of some of the people
Can I
that
just eat my
practice
food?
Islam, because a lot of the practice comes from
That's
the text
faster.
of Islam, and because a lot of these people sometimes will call themselves an Islamist organization, like for instance Hamas, where they will cite to religion when they're committing acts of terrorism, or when they're fighting Jewish people in the Middle East, like Hezbollah and the Houthis and the theocratic regime in Iran. So I'm going to be critical of the religion there, because the religion is literally one of the undercurrents that's powering it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that.
But what about the religion in America that people in America use to justify
Like the
terrible
whole
things,
fucking
or in
religion is
Israel?
bad. I'm probably one of the most divorced from religious
Did Israel not like cite like the reasons for them doing what they did with fucking texts like that? Like what?
context analysis people of all the Israel-Palestinian
What, Amalek?
history. I don't think it's relevant at all until like the year 2000, if that. Yeah, I very rarely do I harp on like all the Muslims are bad. Like sometimes I just tell some jokes because some fucking retards will come online and defend it. I think it's funny to see them defend it, and it's stupid. But yeah, I don't think that I'm painting with a broad brush any more than they paint themselves with a broad brush. And I don't think anything I do is necessarily unique or horrible compared to how I make fun of like Christians or anybody else in the past. Because right now, Muslims and these conflicts and the red pillars are all like the most relevant thing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you would say that, like,
So he's a grifter?
it's wrong to conflate Zionists and Jews because that can be anti-Semitic, but then you would take Iran as like an example of Islam, even though it's not representative of all Muslims. You know, it's just you don't apply the same standards to different things. But
what is the name of Iran? What is the name of that country?
You tell me.
Isn't the name of the country the Islamic Republic of Iran?
Isn't the name?
Isn't it a theocratic regime?
What?
Literally.
The Jews? What are you talking about? Like, this is silly.
First of all, the foundation of Zionism in Israel was literally secular Zionists. Number one. Number two. So wait, what? I don't even know what the point of that comparison was. Are you saying that Iran is not a theocratic regime based like broadly on what they find in the it's not the Torah, the Quran?
No, I'm saying they can have whatever interpretation of Islam and make it theocratic they want. That doesn't mean that that's the real Islam, or that all Muslim people agree with that, or that most Muslim people agree with it.
Okay, I mean, by definition.
So you would call that theocratic?
Not necessarily have it as hardcore, but a lot of elements of the religion might be embedded into the actual forms or structure of government or laws.
Okay, so you would call that theocratic?
Call which one theory? I mean, those two.
Bam, bam, bam. I'm probably gonna get off in a second, guys. I just want to hop on for a little bit. I have to finish my project. I have to film more. I'm just so exhausted. This video.
It has been a while, y'all. I was too emotional to let it go. It was a year full.
In a minute. Bro. Is this safe for Twitch? This is some crazy shit. It seems like a wild time, bro. That's hype. Okay. Yo, what's up, Kaz? How you doing? She on a bike? Or is someone pulling her? Because I don't see her looking at the road. Okay, I'm gonna skip through because I want to see if I can. Oh, someone joins her? Okay, this is hype. Okay, she's hype. I fuck with this. I fuck with this heavy. Okay, yeah, someone's pulling her on a trailer. For sure, for sure. Yeah. Bro, that's so lit. I'm gonna watch this whole thing sometime. We are gonna hop off though, guys. Let's see, do I have anyone to raid? Do I have anyone to raid? This shit's so hype. Sorry for the vent stream today, guys. I was like, yeah, lots going on. Lots going on. Let's read Katie. Let's read Katie real quick. Okay, much love, guys. Much love. We're gonna go raid Katie. Go hang out with Katie, guys. I will be back. I'll be back soon. Very soon. Okay. Alright. Alright, goodbye, guys. I love you. Sweet dreams. Have a lovely day. I appreciate y'all.
You finished Scream? I forgot I had that raid alert. You finished Scream? I saw you were streaming. wetted it, right? Wet it. I made it wet, okay? Because when it's not wet, you know how I look? I look like Turk from Tarzan. You know the female gorilla that is Tarzan's best friend? That's how my hair looks. It makes me angry. Okay, I love Tarzan too, but that's not really the point. Okay, I'll show you the best thing about this dress, and hopefully it will go fine. Okay, wait. Okay. I can make it go higher, but for stream reasons I won't. Now I'm dizzy. You know that joke about like, oh, this old thing, I just put it on? My boyfriend's sleeping in the other room, so I couldn't get any of my other clothes, and my sexy dress is in the lingerie box, and it's here. So I just picked the most whatever thing from here that I can wear. Because I was too hot. I was wearing